Exodus chapter 22, verse 7. If a man gives to his neighbor money or goods to keep safe and stolen from the man's house, then if the thief is found, he shall pay double. Okay, so you give some valuable things to someone to keep it for you, and while that person is in possession of it, it disappears, it's stolen. What then? Okay, now I guess you can always ask the question, why would you, in this situation, why would you even take it if, no? But it's kind of, I leave my stuff at hotels, I'm booking out later, or I ask them, can you keep it for me while I'm going out? I mean, I had already checked out. The time is up to be in the hotel, and I don't want to carry it with me, so I ask people to keep it for me. And I've never had a problem with people. They understand. We tell you if something happens to it, and they're not going to take responsibility. So in one place I had to like carry my valuables, you know, my laptop and stuff like that with me while out. But still, that's in Guati. That's still a lot better than carrying all the stuff. Anyhow, so no, it's just kind of social. You just help people in this way. Sometimes people just need that kind of help. So you're not just going to be, it's a social culture. You're not going to be just individualistic. Oh, I'm taking a risk, I'm not doing it. Well, I'll help you, because that's what we do. We help each other, right? So therefore, this person, it's kind of a normal thing that this can happen. But now when you give it to someone, and then the thief comes and steal it, what then? Not the one who kept it, but a thief, right? So if you then find this thief, then this thief is supposed to pay double. Verse 8, if the thief is not found, the owner of the house shall come near to God to show whether or not he has put his hands to his neighbor's property. Right? So if they don't find the thief, then maybe, you know, the owner himself took it and sold it on the market or something like that. So he basically stole it, right? And then, but you can't prove it, right? You can't prove that the owner did it. So what you do then, under those circumstances, is, well, you ultimately go in front of God, not the judge, but in front of God. And in front of God, you give now an oath, right? That, well, not in this case, not the oath. You just come in front of God to show that, no, you didn't do that. I didn't do that, God. So the idea behind this is that you might not fear your neighbor so much, but you fear God. And so since, you know, fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So since you fear God, then the hope is that this person, out of this fear of God, he will then admit to the fact that he actually did take it, and here it's back, or here's the money, or whatever. That's why where you can go and get it back from. Okay, so this is the idea that lies behind this. This fear of God ultimately will then be the ruling effect that will make this guy either admit to it, if he did it, hopefully, and if he didn't do it, then, you know, this is his word. He said he didn't do it, so you couldn't catch the thief. That's that. Verse 9, for every breach of trust, whether it's for an ox, for a donkey, for a sheep, for a cloak, or for any kind of lost thing, of which one says, this is it, the case of both parties shall come before God. The one whom God condemns shall pay double to his neighbor. Now this is something different. So, right, something disappeared, something was stolen, but it can be there's two parties involved in both of this I said, you said kind of idea. Okay, and so what then happens? Well, firstly, you see there's a breach of trust, and that is always, I think, for any kind of theft, always for me the worst is you just can't trust people anymore. I mean, like I've been robbed so many times in life, especially then right in Siberia in the village by other kids, and I most of the time knew who did it. And I mean, it doesn't matter how you try to stop. It was never possible to prove ultimately who did it. But you know, yeah, sure, you didn't trust those people anymore, those kids anymore at all, because of what they did. So, and that kind of a life where you can't trust people. I grew up where you could trust. At least that was the idea. You trust everybody because yes is yes and no is no. But then living in cultures where people steal and lie to you to not lose face, be it Thailand, Russia, it doesn't matter, Myanmar, you kind of tend to lose. Yeah, if it wasn't that I grew up in a society where I trusted people, I wouldn't have trusted anybody there. But because of that, I actually trust people, so praise God for that at least. But people growing up in a culture like that, it must be very, very bad for them. And so yes, this, in the beginning of this verse is ultimately this idea of trust is a breach of trust. Things being stolen, and you don't exactly know, I said, you said, who is ultimately the right one to do it. Like Solomon and the baby that was ultimately the dead baby and the live baby, and who's just cut it in half, and that kind of idea. So this is the same kind of idea that comes out here. So ultimately you go in front of God, and in front of God, then you need to say, okay, no, I'm telling the truth. No, the neighbor is telling the truth. And again, the hope is that because of their fear of God, right, they would then admit to, no, actually what you said is true, and what I said is a lie. I am the one who take it, and here is then ultimately the double payment. Because why double payment? I mean, you can give it back, but there's still as well a double payment. Everything is a double payment. But there was a breach of trust, and there's as well then a certain sense of a moral loss and a pain that is brought upon this person. So you can never, like I say, it takes years to build trust, but it takes seconds to lose. And that's the theft always for me, the worst is trust, actually. And so yes, you pay double. The idea, the fear of God, hopefully will bring you back to your senses, and you'll admit to the fact what you did. If not, we do it like kind of swear on the Holy Bible, swear, tell the truth, whole truth. But these days people don't fear God. Even Christians don't fear God. Just look at their lives. So it doesn't really work anymore. But this was the concept here. Those people still feared God.